I call the May 8th Township Board meeting to, we're going to pledge allegiance to order.
We gotta do that again?
Pull some of them did.
We better this time.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from April.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for April.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's report.
All right, Pam, if you're able to pull up the financial statement.
I'm switching over very quickly.
Sounds good. And if you're in person, it's the last page in your packet if you want to follow along that way instead. So starting at the top down, the April 2024 financial statement. Our beginning balance in our checking account was $116,597, less our expenses of just under $9,000, added revenue of $4,000, gave us an ending balance in our checking of $111,855. Then we have our UBS investment accounts with a total balance there of $461,732. Giving the township total assets, checking plus our investments, of $573,586. Moving down to the middle section, we've got our expenses from April 2024 at $8,880. And this is a decrease of just over $8,000 from last April. And this is due to two main items. Last year we had some litigation expenses for a resident on Gray Cloud Trail. And then we also had more snow and ice expenses last year, as we can all imagine. Makes sense. Then revenues were up slightly year over year, up $2,773. And this was due to just the timing of our cell tower lease payment. And then in addition, we got a larger solar garden permit payment in 2024 as well. And Pam, if you want to scroll down to the very bottom, just a quick look at the budget. I'll just kind of look at the far left column here of numbers. Year to date, we've spent just over $32,000 in expenses and collected just over $46,000 in revenue. So year to date, our surplus is at $14,100 compared to this time last year was $13,658. So right on pace with 2023.
Thank you, Keisha.
I got a question for her.
Yeah.
With our, I'm looking ahead at this Pioneer Road thing. Okay, I've already asked this before you told me what I got, but I didn't remember. When do we get our half-year tax settlement from the county?
It varies slightly, but everything is due in May, so I would expect the payment to come in June, July at the latest.
And how much you think that, well, we'll know it. What is it?
I'm gonna say 50,000-ish off the top of my head.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah.
50-something, okay.
Yep.
Kind of planning ahead to see just how much blacktop we can afford or can't afford here.
Right. Yeah, and we can take a look too, like I mentioned, less snow removal costs in 2024 here, so we might have a little bit of room there potentially as well, so we could kind of rebucket some spending items as well.
Thanks, Keisha.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay bills 74 through 87 for a total of $13,454.36.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Aye. Moving on, Planning Commission report.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We met on Monday. The only agenda item that we had was actually, and we've discussed it before, the request that we had from the LaCroix on a division and then annexation of the division to the southern lot. It's two lots that are sort of north-south from each other. They're not exactly the same, but a chunk of the one from the north would go to the one at the bottom. We talked about the guideline that we just talked about, that the lot that was being subdivided would be less than 5 acres, and that we couldn't do that, but we understood that the intent of the ordinance was going to stay intact. So I sent you, I didn't see it on the packet, but sent you guys a memo with our deliberation and suggestion that although we thought it was not something that the ordinance would support, that it's something that we would suggest that you grant due to the fact that it presents a unnecessary burden and a bunch of logistics that are just not necessary, since the intent can be accomplished via two-step. The LaCroix can actually add both lots into one and then re-subdivide them, which didn't seem to make a lot of sense. So given the rule changes you're going to have today, if you approve them later on, it may be a moot point, but we didn't want to take that we didn't want to assume that. So that's the action that we agreed to forward into you and put that in writing for your consideration. Not sure if you've got the memo, sent it to you electronically today. Okay, that is all we discussed. We're still looking for folks that want to be part of the planning commission. So those of you that are not here all the time, don't look away. That all the time, I want to volunteer or spend some time into deliberating these kind of things.
I think you'd be really good.
You are certainly welcome to it. You got to talk to one of these folks. They nominate you, and we have all kinds of fun on Monday evenings. We try to keep the meetings to only 1 hour. That's to try to make sure we're not exceeding your time, and you get to know the ordinances inside now and have an opportunity to be part of the community. So we didn't have any takers, but we are staying strong at 5. So
I think you'd be good.
So join. Yeah, there you go. Join us. I'll catch your name later. That's it. If you've got any questions for us, but it was a good meeting.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Next planning commission's Monday, June 10th at 6:30 PM. Next town board meeting's Wednesday, June 12th at 7 PM. We're gonna get into the other meeting that we went to later, so that's fine. Unfinished business, revision of ordinance 49.2. You wanna take that, Dick?
Yeah, okay, you've all heard about it. We've been working on this since, I think last May. We thought we'd be done last November. By God, we made it, and we're gonna get done by this November. I'll make a motion to adopt our revised ordinance 49.2. It'll be 49.3 as we went through tonight.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
I can do the next one too. Ordinance 58, or nuisance ordinance. We went through that tonight, and I'll make a motion to adopt our revised ordinance 58, it'll turn into 58.1.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mississippi Dunes Landing, we had discussion at last month's meeting about the construction traffic, all the trucks and stuff going to the new construction site, the housing. Us supervisors and Pam met with Cottage Grove, Washington County. Who else was there? St. Paul Park.
St. Paul Park.
Yeah, we had a meeting up at Cottage Grove with all those guys to kind of discuss it. We're gonna have a follow-up meeting coming up. We just kind of laid out kind of our concerns. They gave us a presentation of how they came up with the development and all that. It really doesn't relate to us. It's their land to do what they want with. Our concern was that the heavy use of our road that's being used to access the construction site, that's kind of our biggest thing, just safety with the number of trucks and then just road conditions so that we don't have to pay to fix it when they're all done.
Yeah, the cement truck isn't gonna make it under the
We,
They'd have to follow.
should say to our surprise or not our surprise, they had a road study done, and they showed their cement trucks were 10-foot tall, their backhoes and dozers were all under 10-foot tall, so they showed that 87% of construction traffic could be able to go underneath the bridge. So we informed them that trucks are 13'6" tall, and that 87% comes through us, and 6, whatever the rest goes through them, so. We left the meeting asking for them to maybe recalculate some of that road study stuff. And then the county agreed to come out and road test the trail, our section of road, just to see a tonnage of what it's at, kind of get a condition reading with it.
I don't think we got an answer from
No,
them.
not yet. That'll give us kind of a starting point, and then we're gonna try and work out some sort of compensation to help, whether it be redo our road when you guys are done or get a dividend for it. I know they sent us a follow-up email with the MnDOT thing for detour on a very small amount you get paid, but to me, that's not a detour. This is a construction thing. A detour is when you shut down a road for a handful of days and you got light traffic running your road, so. We will have a follow-up meeting on that and push to try and get what's best for our community on it and not have to go to road closure signs or something else to try and deter some of that, so. Either one of you, any of you guys want to say
Sure.
anything else on that?
We didn't really get anything much out of the meeting. We did get a few things answered though, is, we've had some people say like on Island Drive, we'll just put up load limit signs, put certain tonnage on there, this and that. Well, Wayne Sandberg, he's the head engineer from the county, he told me, he says, you can't just do that. He said, you'll be taken to court and lose. He said, you gotta have something to substantiate it. You can't just put, 3 tons and keep everybody out of there. So people that thought we could do that, no. So like Dan said, let me back up. The county's been very good to us, so nobody badmouthed the county. So Wayne said, well, they started talking about Great Cloud Trail. They said, well, this Cottage Grove folks saying, well, that should be the same as Island Drive coming down. The county redid County Road 75. It should be the same, a 9-ton road. And me and Dan, no. Said it's narrow, you got no curb, and on and on. Well, and I said, I know one thing, that don't have the same base under it that county road does, he did. So that's when Wayne Sandberg from the county said, well, we can do a thump test on it. And that's what, I had never heard of that. He said, I don't know how it works. He said, I just know that's what it's called. So somehow they drop some big heavy load on it and they figure out how much it shakes or whatever. And the engineer comes up, like Bar Engineering or somebody, says, yeah, your road's good for X amount of pounds. Well, it might backfire on us. They might come back and say, well, it's good for a 10-ton load limit, but they offered to do that, and then they were gonna core drill it too, to see what's actually in there. And I said, well, what about Island Drive going around? Because that one I'm thinking, we should be able to put some type of signage on there for less than, right now it's 9 tons. Well, we can do that too, he said. Well, good, thanks, because we just got done, we're gonna be paying the engineering firm doing Pioneer Road and 99th, was it about $8,000 to do them same tests on that road? So that was good, he gave us that, so they're gonna do that.
That will be a detour for a short part when they close by the bridge and redo all that entrance. They'll have
Yeah.
to route the island, so that's why we got that.
What they did agree to, what Dan's talking about is over where the old entrance to the golf course was, when they redo that section of roadway in there, there's no way to put a bypass road in there. So that road is gonna be just plain closed for a period of time. So all the residents that live south of that will be coming around this way. We said, the residents or the trucks in that? And they said, no, just the residents. And they said they talked to Wholesome, and Wholesome wouldn't run any trucks out of that lower pit around this way, why that portion of the road is closed.
Which is about 2 weeks, they said.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
They
yeah.
also said cement trucks were 10 foot tall.
Yeah, right. Another little bit of information, I don't know if you people have noticed, you go that way, when you go around that corner on 103rd and the trail, how deep that road is next to it where they're excavating, it's down about 4 or 5 feet. They're gonna lower that whole area down in there. And then on top of the hill at 100th, 103rd and Hadley, you've noticed some new roads coming in there are all lower. Yeah, we're gonna lower them too because, to get under the railroad underpass, and they said, yeah, we gotta go under it, we can't go over it because of all the clearance they need. Well, when's that part gonna be done? Well, maybe 4 years, we really.
10 to 15.
Yeah, they said 10 to 15.
Yeah, we don't have the budgeting in that for that. Well, then I heard since then, somebody tell me they don't have the budgeting for the 19A extension either, up through 3M, so. The sad part is, there ain't a whole lot we can do with the truck traffic, you know what I mean? It's kinda like it's a public road, they can go on it, and but who knows what they'll throw at us at the next meeting, we'll find out, so. That's about as smart as we are in that.
Did you hear anything from Keith Frankie when they're doing Third Street? And I'm guessing
Next-
that's really gonna impact.
That'll be 2025.
2020,
Next year.
2025, yeah. So
I
they're,
thought he had said they were gonna do it.
they're gonna put,
Yeah.
they're gonna try and get all the traffic routed off of Summit, so construction traffic will go down Third, but then when that happens, we were actually really surprised with St. Paul Park. Frankie wasn't there, but one of their public works guy was there, and he just said, it's public road, whatever you gotta do, you gotta do.
Actually, he
And-
said, when we asked him how they were gonna detour, he said, I don't care.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly what
It
he said.
shocked us, we
Yeah.
figured
We
St.
thought
Paul.
we'd have a little wait with them. sit
Yeah, we
behind us
figured
and-
St. Paul Park could have somebody a little higher level of authority there. They had their public works director there. And
Go by the
he didn't
houses, go
seem-
wherever you want.
He didn't seem concerned about anything. You know, because we said, well, okay, all next year, that's gonna be tore up, so your trucks will be coming down Summit. Well, that's a state in aid road or something, so we don't even care.
He said he didn't, they were definitely not going down Summit.
Yeah,
And our biggest thing with our road, even like if tonnage comes back, we don't have curbs, we don't have anything, so when you run all those cement trucks, you're gonna push that road out, it's a tight road when they pass, so there's gonna definitely be, might not be damage in 5 years after they're done, but it's definitely gonna take some life off our road, and that's where we feel it should be taken
And
care
we-
of on their end, not our end.
and we asked the county to take it over, and he says, well, I'll take that over, but I'll trade you some other road for it, he said. You know, meaning County Road 75, so.
So for now, we're not gonna do a construction sign, they're working with us, and we'll follow up when we have another meeting on that. Any other questions on that? No? Good.
It's good because we don't have any other answers.
Perfect, yeah, that's it. New business, resolutions, oh, we already did those,
No, oh, doesn't matter, yeah,
yeah.
we're good, these are approved.
Yeah, one of the things on here is just the culvert on Pioneer. So we did the preliminary work with SEH, did a site visit. We had checked out that. They didn't feel at the time that anything would have to happen with that, but as the project progresses, we'll see what they do for road height and stuff, and then address if we need to do something on the sides with that. I don't know if you guys know, there's a culvert that runs underneath down there, but it was replaced, I don't know how long ago.
Well, we don't know when it was replaced, that that steel stuff going down
Yeah,
there.
but underneath
the
the roads,
property there?
the new plastic,
Yeah,
so it's
it's
in
been
really good
quite a
shape.
while.
But maybe as it goes, maybe we'll end up adding some riprap or something on the sides for some splash for erosion.
Me and Dan actually stopped and looked at that before we came tonight, and,
Yeah,
because I was thinking about putting some riprap in there before the project, we both decided, let's wait and see where the road ends up, the elevation, the height. And then some of the neighbors brought up, there's a steel pipe going down toward the river from there. And that wasn't a public works project. We found out a resident actually put that in himself, and that pipe's on private property, so we have no responsibility or the right to do anything with it. But Lee Mullen told me the guy wants to get rid of it. His intention is to sell it, get rid of it for scrap. So we did volunteer to help drag it out of there if he wanted, so.
any questions or comments on that?
Eduardo, I did have your email with the pictures, and it's just,
Yeah, I mean, I sent it in, thank you for your consideration, really appreciate it. It just, to me, it's really, when you walk over that, it's really clear, I'm no engineer here, but when you walk over that road, it looks like the culvert work was done after the fact, because it looks like the road was there and then they did the culvert work, so I don't know what
They-
finished that work.
Yeah, they tore that out and replaced that
Yep,
piece, yep.
And I don't have, I mean, I don't think that there's anything structurally wrong with that, but the runoff looks, I had assumed that was a byproduct of that project.
Yeah,
I would never think that a private owner is going to go buy pipe, and I know who the private owner was, and.
He,
well, you would know who the private owner was, because he was long dead before you were born almost.
So that just seemed like, I assumed that was a byproduct of that culvert work, that they would put that runoff structure.
That right there, yeah.
Look at,
It
look
shows
at how
the-
that looks.
so after speaking with them and them, his intent is to get rid of it, and they were gonna try and pull it out and try and sell it, cause it's still in good shape they think somebody might wanna use it with driveway or whatever, but if we get to a point, then we could maybe send a follow-up email and just say, hey, a scrapper'd come pick this up or whatever, just to at least clean it up.
And then a big question me and Dan had is, you know, it's washed out more than what the picture shows, really. Without, looking at the land around there now, where did this water come from? I mean, that much water to do this?
I got no clue.
The only
But
thing,
Thank you for considering it. I don't want to belabor it. It just looks like, I would have assumed that was a byproduct
Yeah.
of the culvert creation, and that it just seemed.
yeah, a guy named Don,
Deteriorated in a.
You just think the-
almost dangerous way.
Yeah, you think the volume of water that, I mean, that's not normal rain or any, I mean, who knows, but.
the guy's name was Don Setterman that did that. He
The,
might have got the pipe real cheap. He worked at the refinery at the time.
yeah,
But
it's,
you know
that's
what I-
hard with private property, cause, I mean, yeah, I don't know if, I mean, the township could buy some loads of dirt and try and give it to the guy and
I get
push
it.
it in or not, or it's kind of
Would
a
that
gray.
fit the definition of a nuisance?
well, it's sandy,
It's just dirt, it's a ravine, that's all it is. The pipe could definitely be, but
Well,
he's
and
gonna
it's-
work on getting rid of that.
It's all on the floodplain too.
You know where
I mean,
I'm guessing
up
that
to those
washout
pipes.
came? Now, this is just a guess, because, you know, me and Dan look and everybody looks, where do you get that much water? Probably 30 years ago, remember the Twin Cities had them 9-inch rainstorms? Somebody remember that? Remember that, Mike? It just, like Geneva where I live, it's all sand. Ditches on both sides of the road were full. The whole southern,
There was cars that were flooded.
yeah, cars were flooded. I mean, it was just a horrendous rain, and I just wonder if that was the time that happened.
Could have been.
Yeah. All right, anyway, that's that on that.
Would do to consider that, that'd be great. It's been
I'm-
there for 15 years since I've been here in that condition.
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah,
it doesn't cost us anything, just call Rumpka or Tracy Man or something and just say, hey, or maybe even that company in town, Gray Cloud.
Yeah.
What's it cost to get some loads of dirt and talk to the homeowner and maybe, cause it'd just be a skid steer straight down before that road's done. But maybe, I mean, if it's $1,500 to throw dirt in there and push a skid steer to flatten it, maybe the homeowner would agree to it or something. I don't know. It's private property, but
yeah,
taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for that. but
yeah.
It's been there a lot of years. I don't know.
Okay, so you asked and answered your question.
What do you think?
I'm not-
You guys, I mean, do we just
I do-
ask what a couple loads of dirt or just get the, I
Let's
mean, I think
just,
they're gonna get the pipe out.
you know,
there.
it's
That'll help a
private
lot.
property, he owns it, it's kinda his responsibility.
Okay.
If he wants help getting the culvert out, me and you can go help him do that.
Well, I think it's more of a, is it considered a nuisance from the road or any of that versus the property owner's not gonna fill it in, he could care less, it's in his woods, so it's just,
I think it is a nuisance.
The pipe or the
The pipe.
wash, the pipe, yeah.
he's gonna get rid of it, I think that pipe will disappear soon.
Well, it ain't disappeared real soon, real quick.
No, but if it doesn't, we can, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we can get a scrapper to grab it, we can talk to him, he doesn't want it, yeah.
It's been there for about 35 years.
Yeah, it's been there since I've been down.
Yeah.
How do you like it, Big Mike? Doesn't it suck? Well, you look at it, it's like, it is dangerous too. It should not be there, actually. It should not be. I don't even really know why it's got a culvert going under the road right there. There's not that much of a ditch on the other side of it.
You know,
That's why you go, there's no way that could've washed out that,
Right.
that's what makes no
I think that
sense.
9-inch rain come right over the top of the road, and I think there was probably, I'm guessing, this is
Probably
all
coming
guess.
down Pioneer Road.
Yeah.
and there's-
Yeah,
And out of Perna's property there, it all slopes that way, and it take a 9-inch rain to, I'm guessing the culvert was there, the 9-inch rain came, that made that big washout, but anyway.
and we talked about that culvert and SEA, we've never heard any problems with that, so it's either have them engineer it, add a bunch of cost to the Pioneer to regrade the ditches and do all that, we're like, it's not broke, let's not, you know.
That's what I mean, if you look at it, if they do redo that road, there's not that much, water basin on the other side
Right,
of that ditch or
yeah.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just comes down and.
Yep.
So I don't even really know why it's there.
And we'll see when we get the new specs, cause they might bring that road up a little bit, they're gonna use some of that and regrind it in, and so once we get everything all surveyed out, maybe we'll have a little more info and can make a better decision, yeah, yep.
Fill in one side on the south.
All right, cemetery cleanup,
I was hoping Patty was gonna be here, but she's not. Memorial Weekend's coming up at the end of the month. If, we're just looking for volunteers to come help clean up, pretty up the cemetery
Yeah, I can help.
prior to Memorial Weekend when they do the ceremony out there.
Who knows it?
We had, our lawnmower guy go out there and pick up all the leaves, so that made a huge difference. I went out, did some cleanup around the graves, some old faded flowers, broken flags, you know, stuff that just wasn't looking very nice. They'll put new flags in on Memorial Weekend. But anyway, we're looking for volunteers.
what, when and where?
We don't know when or where, we don't have any body that will actually show up. So if we can get a body that'll show up, we'll go when they can.
are you seeing like trash and stuff, or what, like, what's the scope, what do
You
you,
know,
are you,
what do you think? What
So
are
I
you
go
going?
there every day and just because I like to, and that is, it's looking pretty good, particularly since they did the leaves. I
Okay.
pick up some of the trash when it blows on the back, I go in the woods and pick it up and put it in the bin, and then we communicate when the bin is
Yeah.
full. I think that there may be just some attention to some of the, items that people put over time. And it's sort of like, okay, we're gonna reset and take anything that is dated, I don't touch any of that obviously, but it may be just, 45 minutes of saying, how can we make this
If
place look
that.
as good as it can? Not-
Maybe
not
some,
even.
maybe some overhanging, I mean, you came in and did a lot of work along the fence, but maybe
Yeah.
just some cutting of some small.
The lower hanging branches and
Lower
stuff.
hanging branches along the fence. Eduardo probably would only
Yeah, a lot of that.
Give me,
45 minutes.
give me some holler on a Saturday, I'll come over and help you.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Just
Yeah.
bring your tools.
Just so you guys know what, Patty brought up, she was looking for volunteers to clean along the fence over, I went and looked at it, and there was a lot of leaves there, and I thought, getting volunteers to do it is hard enough in the first place, and that was a little more than what you would expect the volunteers to do. So, me and Pam made a command decision to just have the lawn guy do it. So,
Can he, come up here and mow this grass?
oh,
Oh, I was gonna bring that up under other.
we have to mow that now.
Okay, I was gonna ask that if you guys knew.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask our lawn mowing man, if he would do it.
Yeah, I don't know how, here's the deal, when Wholesome let us stay here for 2 more years for $1 a year, part of it is we gotta mow the lawn. Okay, well, they were mowing quite a ways that way. I don't think we have to mow quite a ways that way.
No,
I
don't
would
think we have
just-
to mow any of that field.
No, I would, around here and just whatever's close,
Just
Let it go back to its natural state, that
Yeah.
field, that
Just
tennis
around the
court.
building,
yeah,
And in front of those trees.
in
Yeah.
front of those trees,
yeah.
yeah.
Around the parking lot, this is okay.
Okay, is it okay if I contact?
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Kyle?
yeah. And we'll give them $5 more to do that.
That's how I talk to Lynn, or just drive your mower across the
I
street,
know,
blast
if I
it.
lived closer, I'd just drive it over and do it.
Last year, we only had to mow once or twice, so. All right, the LaCroix property.
I'll make a motion, we approve his, lot transfer.
I'll second that.
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, no, you gotta bring us drawings of the pole barn.
Yeah,
Okay.
get that stuff from
Get it, you see when our meeting is? Town Board, June 12th. You got one of these?
That would have to go to.
Yeah, that'll be a whole
Oh,
permit.
I'm
Yep,
sorry.
yep.
It would
He's
have to
good.
go, yeah.
We don't
You-
have plans or anything
Yeah,
yet, Paul. so
Do
we
you
gotta
wanna
get-
be on the planning commission? Yes.
You got room for one more?
Yeah. You know,
Three more.
1 hour a month, and Eduardo keeps it. We appreciate that.
Don't let him talk you into anything.
Send Tyler, he should be home by then. Anything else? Otherwise, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Oh, yeah, I ain't done yet.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We did get a letter from Wholesome.
Oh,
They want to have a breakfast meeting. It was somewhat interesting. They sent it to all of us individually. We were all, what do you call it, blind copy, so you can't see who was all there. But we're assuming Cottage Grove, us, and they would like to work together with us. Although there was 2 things. One was just a meeting to talk about. We don't know. Their breakfast meeting.
start at the top, Dick. They want to reset. They apologize for the turmoil they've caused in our
Yeah.
community. Then,
And then a couple days later, our attorney got a letter from them. They'd really like to reset and talk to us and see if we can avoid extended litigation, so.
So reset, sorry for threatening to sue you, but if you don't do this, we're gonna sue.
Yeah, that's
Let's reset it.
did you read it the same way I read it? Huh,
I
yeah.
think you
same
did.
way.
I think you did.
These guys ain't here.
I
but
was
wanna-
reset for about 8 minutes, and then I was back to business.
The people that brought this up aren't here, but I got a call from John Nicosia and Eric Folsom. All of a sudden, people are concerned about the sedimentation. Kind of interesting.
Well, that's coming from the riverside.
Yeah, they're looking at Baldwin Lake, and, well, Eric had an idea to dredge that out and on, and he's seen an ad where the Corps hired Lamedi and Sons for millions of dollars to do it. Maybe we can get these folks, and I'll just explain to people real quick how LaCroix works, because people think, well, LaCroix will do it. LaCroix is a division of the Army. I worked there for 6 years. They go by orders. They do what they're ordered to do, and that's all they do. If they're told to dredge, they go dredge, but it's all from higher up. It's not negotiated through state or public policy. It's all on funding. And their main concern only is the main channel of that river. That's their
Yeah.
mission, that's their
Their
assignment.
chief concern.
Yeah, that's their chief concern. The watershed, they are still having trouble acknowledging that the back channel's filling with sediment. So just putting that out there, because if they see this tape and I sent them all kinds of data that I had, I got all kinds of things, so anyway.
Well, he knows that.
Yeah, well, I don't think he knew everything I sent
I-
to him, but,
I told him that you should be the guy that he talks to.
yeah,
Cause
yeah.
your boat's down there more than anybody else.
Yeah, well, them people on Moore's Lake, I'm almost guessing after, we
They
got.
can't get out.
We got some high flows right now are about 50,000 cubic feet per second on the river. To go, you get through Moore's Lake, you go out Baldwin Lake, last year was about this deep, the shallowest spot. I'm kinda guessing this year,
Yeah.
We were about 8 inches
you
before
might
we-
not get
yeah.
through there.
No.
And our back channel, that's not as bad, but that's bad too. But we're not the Lone Ranger. This is going on all the way down to St. Louis. Everywhere they got locks and dams, you got this sedimentation.
Yep.
You want some good reading to do, look up U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Pool 2 sedimentation. And it'll keep you busy reading for a few weeks.
And on that note, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye.